One of the issues in this campaign has been the use of a direct indictment program. Please explain how you would or how you have used the direct indictment program. What are the benefits of direct indictments? What are the limitations?
Well, direct indictments are essentially a screening process. For example, in Summit County, which has a successful direct indictment program, they have a group of detectives and prosecutors that meet and they screen cases. And what they do is identify that 20% of the very bad guys. Okay, these guys we put on a fast track to the felony court. And they identify that large percentage of felony 4s and felony 5s, nonviolent treatment type of offenders, people who can be put on probation, sent to treatment. And they screen these cases and handle them very efficiently. They eliminate the preliminary hearing stage. I estimate that it would save the city of Canton alone $400,000 in police overtime, which doesn't necessarily make me the most popular candidate for the police. But that's the fact. It will. It's worked everywhere. Bob Horowitz, in his last year in office, did about 300 direct indictments, and his caseload was 1,900 cases. We have seen a dramatic fall in that, and I documented it for the Canton repository, that we have never reached the levels that Bob Horowitz did with direct indictments, and he had more cases. Now, they tried 92 jury trials that last year he was in office. These last 4 years, the jury trials have averaged about 35 to 40 to 45 jury trials. The caseload is down to 1,500, 1,700 cases, and we're doing less direct indictments. Now, this is a process that will save the taxpayers money in hard costs like police overtime, and in soft costs like judges' time, prosecutors' time, appointed counsel fees, courtroom security fees. It's every major county in the state of Ohio fully implements a direct indictment program. We have a great advantage in Stark County because we have a public defender's office that handles about 30 to 40% of the criminal cases. So we have one entity to deal with on bills of information and direct indictments. It can work. It has worked everywhere else, and it can be done. And Bob Horowitz and Paul Mastrocovo had figured this out. And then Mr. Ferrero took office, and it fell off a cliff. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is a reason why all the other major counties do direct indictments. It's because it saves taxpayer money. It gets the very worst criminals in front of their felony judge much faster, and it deals with that treatment probation group that can be dealt with probation and treatment services. So it's worked everywhere. It certainly can work here. We have advantages in Stark County that other counties don't have, in that we have one public defender's office instead of every felon getting a separate appointed attorney. So there is absolutely no reason not to do it. And I will implement that, fully implement that. I will also take a personal caseload, handle pre-trials, but I guess I'll get into that later.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jakmides. Mr. Ferrero?
Well, first of all, we do have a direct indictment program here in Stark County. We have approximately this year alone through today, 202 direct indictment cases that we have directly indicted. We've also had 94 secret indicted cases. And what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is we work directly with the police agencies. They come to our office, we work with them for the investigation, and we gather the evidence. If we need more, we tell them to go out and get some more, and we present it to the grand jury. So we've been over 300 cases right there. We handle all child sexual and physical assault cases. We have 38 of them so far this year. We also have 57 bills of information. Bills of information is where a defendant wants to plead guilty and bring it to the judge, avoid the preliminary hearing stage, avoid the grand jury stage. We've had 57 of those so far. So we're well over 300 cases you could say directly indicted. It's handled directly through our office. Now, to give you a little history of direct indictments, it's not a statutory requirement upon a prosecutor's office to do direct indictments. And when you compare Stark County with Cuyahoga County, Summit County, you're comparing apples and oranges. We're talking about charter governments. We're talking about people who have money to be able to do a full direct indictment program. So you can't compare Stark County and other counties. And I want to remind everybody, since I've been in office, we've been almost bankrupt twice. In 2003, the first thing I had to do was lay off 12 people. And we had to get rid of the direct indictment program because it's not a statutory requirement. It was something that we just had, Bob had it in the office. And then once the sales tax passed, we reinstituted it and we did it again. But lo and behold, 2011, we didn't have a sales tax. I had to lay off 12 more people. So we had to get rid of the direct indictment program. Now, as you can see, the money's coming in, we're doing well, and we reinstituted it, and that's what we're doing. And I feel, given the fact that we have the money, the limited resources we have, that we're doing a great job on that. And the thing about the direct indictment program is, it was set up to make sure that there were beds available at the jail that they opened up. If you can remember, not surely a few months ago, they were talking about maybe selling beds to other counties because it was getting a lot of openings there. But because of the heroin problem, because of the bail situation, we're hoping with the direct indictments